Hello, Spiritual Center Spokane. This is Reverend Bonnie, and I'm so happy to be with you this Tuesday. Although I'm not live, you can see I'm in a hotel room. Although I'm not live, I am still with you at this moment in time, and I am so grateful to be. I adore each and every one of you and have loved getting texts, emails, letters, connections. It reminds me of how much we're here for each other, and I really appreciate it. So, welcome to another moment of heart connection. So, tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about my travels. I have been on the road for 3 weeks now and have been everywhere. Right now, I'm in Las Vegas, and I won't be talking about it on this video, although I have been here with a client and absolutely enjoying every single minute that I've been here. But I left my trip beginning by driving from Spokane over to Hood Canal. And I have a friend in Hood Canal that I have known since I was maybe 3 years old. We were in preschool together. And when I stayed at her home, she lives on Hood's Canal itself. So she lives on the water. And every day we would take a walk along the beach, and our feet would get in the cold, cold, cold sound. And we saw all kinds of sea life that I was unaware of. Like I was introduced to new sea life. And the one, let's see if I can share my screen here. Let's see. Um, okay. Oh, here we go. The one that I was enthralled with that I knew nothing about was this thing here called a moon snail. And this area here that is alive and active is called a foot. And my friend and I saw several of these, and my friend thought that they were a strangely shaped gooey duck, but they're not. This is actually a moon snail. And how we came about learning that this was a moon snail was by looking at the containers left behind that these moon snails create for making babies. So they have this container right here. This is on my phone. There's that container. And when I saw it, I thought, here's another one in the water itself. I saw these littering the beach. They were everywhere. And I said to my friend, who are the people around here who throw stuff overboard off of their boats? Because these look like vessels. These look like that they're something you store food in. And so I looked them up online, and it turns out that that is the texture that eggs of the moon snail are embedded in. And so it is sand and mucus from the big mama, and there's little eggs all throughout that. So that container keeps them safe. And my friend and I touched it, and I hope that we didn't hurt them by doing that, but we touched it and it felt like leather. Like it was so incredibly strong. And when I learned something new like that, I feel incredibly joyful and loved. Like God has revealed to me another one of its precious secrets, although it's clearly not secret, but it was to me on the planet. Like on that day, at that moment, I got the opportunity to see something I had never seen before. Feel it, touch it, explore it, and find out that this creature exists that I knew nothing about. And of course, there's probably a million creatures I know nothing about. And how wonderful it is that the world is so much bigger than I can ever know. And there's something that feels like love in that. It feels like God so loves this planet Earth that it created, that out of nothing came something, that nothing and something I call God, presence, creator. Out of the nothing came the creator and then creation. And in that creation came moon snails. And how incredibly beautiful and genius, and how their reproduction looks nothing like my reproduction. And I just love that. So when I stayed at my friend's house, I felt so much love from the divine presence, and I felt so much love from my friend, from the connection that I've had with another human being for decades upon decades, and where we have witnessed each other grow up, where we have been through heartbreaks, been through job issues, been through happy, happy times, been through surgeries, been through like the whole life journey in relatedness with each other. And so there was such an appreciation for the amount of love that exists in my life and in each one of our lives if we are bold enough to see it and receive it. So the key for me on the trip was, am I willing to take in this incredible universal beauty? Am I willing to take in this love that is so full that it creates? Am I willing to take in the human love between myself and a sister who I have known for so very long? Actually, we met in preschool, if you can believe it, and then went to kindergarten together. So after that, I then went to Port Townsend. Now, I love Port Townsend. Port Townsend is one of my several sacred places on the planet where, when I drive and arrive and I come up over the hill and I see this big, vast water in front of me, my heart just blows open. My body is filled with light, and I know I'm in a spiritual home. It is so beautiful to me. Now, when I was a young adult, my family had a summer house there, or a year-round house, a getaway house. And I used to go once a month over there by myself, or with myself and my daughter, or with friends and the whole shebang. So I have got decades upon decades of memories embedded in there. And I also made sure that I was there in silence at least once a month for a weekend. So that was where I started my whole hermitage experience, was going over there, sitting in silence, meditating, journaling, walking around nature, and getting refreshed before going back to the life of a single mom and a professional career. So Port Townsend holds so much vitality and support and love that it really buoys my heart. So when I showed up, I had that reflective moment of all of these different memories combined with the now moment. And it was then that I said to myself, I really am a multidimensional being. Usually I do multidimensional with the body, like body, mind, spirit, emotions. I usually do it that way. But I was aware that multidimensionality is also time-based, or it can be. And so there I was chronologically in a whole bunch of different times in my mind while simultaneously being present. And that was an incredible love moment as well. And I was over in Port Townsend to watch a friend have a concert at the winery. And I was with a whole group of 15 friends doing this. And so I got to sit amongst friends I adore, in the midst of a town I adore, in beauty, listening and taking in music. And again, it just was explosive as far as saying, wow, love shows up in so many different ways. And here it is again. And from there, I went to Seattle and stayed at a friend's house for 5 days. And this friend I've also known since I was three, since preschool. And her mom was my ballet, not belly, ballet dancer at age 3. She was the instructor in her basement. So I have all kinds of memories with her and her family. And I stayed at her house, and she was preparing to go for surgery. And so she was in a lot of pain, was on a lot of pain medications. And so her capacity to show up for any length of time during a day was pretty small. And so it was so lovely that I got to be with her for little bits of time here and there while I was in Seattle doing other things. So that was great. My very last day in Seattle, I went to a memorial service for my friend's husband, who I also knew, but am really friends with the wife. And 300 to 500 people showed up. And the service was so moving and so beautiful. And the feel of someone who was so loved and continues to be loved, because we know that love doesn't die when a person does, that experience was again one of those expanded love moments. And while I was there, was aware that every single person there had their own life story, who somehow connected with this gentleman. They somehow interconnected. And then they had their own sphere of friends and influence. So here was 300 to 500 people that loved this one man. And there's probably more who couldn't make it, right? So there's a lot of people with that one person touched. And then you think each one of those people was touched by him to then turn around and touch their network with love. So love is contagious, love is expanded, love continues to share itself with others who are willing to receive it. And so as I was in this room looking around, I thought, this is something else. This is spectacular. This is evidence of what love looks like, and it's seeding that can then turn around and produce more and more love. Ooh, yeah. And after that, I went to Vashon Island and spoke there about spiritual elderhood. And I read one of the translations of the Lord's Prayer from Aramaic, and then spoke about my own journey, having insights around being in that place in my life now look, where my forward looking is so much shorter than it once was. So here in Vegas, I walk the strip because I get up every morning and walk. And there was a young couple in their 20s holding hands. And I could remember that energy of being so young and having the whole future to look forward to. Like, here's the lifespan that's way ahead. And of course, none of us know how long our lifespan really is. But the thoughts that go with that age are long. And part of this spiritual elder piece, I think, is I don't look forward as much as I look spherically around where I've been, where I'm becoming, who I'm touching to the right and to the left, who's touching me to the right and to the left. Come in. And my friend Doreen walked in the door, so I'm about to enter into meditation with you. And I just wanted to share how things so ordinary can and are really extraordinary. And when our hearts are open and we're willing to see and feel from that place of love, we are able to receive so much. And so, in future talks on future Tuesdays, I will share more about my travels and we will get back to spiritual maturity. It is such a significant teaching and it is substantial. And so, I want to have a little lighter break in here, which is today. So, let's go ahead and close our eyes and take a nice big deep breath together. And just allow yourself to feel the breath moving in your body temple. And even feeling this has kind of a miraculous quality to it because there will be a day when we won't be breathing and our bodies won't be moving. So there's really this interesting life energy thing that happens when we become awake to our breath. And I invite you to take a minute to feel your feet on the ground and your bottom on the chair and your belly breathing, moving as you breathe, and your heart wide open. Let's give some attention to our third eye and allow that or invite that or intend that to open. And the crown on our head. And let's sit here in silence for 2 to 3 minutes and then I'll close in a prayer. And see with your heart open if you can feel that energy that is uniquely yours. And so I give thanks for today. I give thanks that whether our feet are on the beach walking in the soil, whether we are aware of something new in our life we've never seen before, whether we're connecting with friends who we've known for an extraordinarily long time, or whether we are solo, alone, wherever we're at with our own self and our memories. I just give thanks that that divine presence is right where we're at, that there is nowhere that we can go that we are alone ever. For the goodness and the glory and the love of God is always, always with us. And I give thanks that our heart and our soul has the capacity to show up when we're grieving and for those we love who are grieving. I give thanks that our heart has the capacity to repair, to expand, to include, to heal, to share. And so I just give thanks that today is a day where we place our attention upon a life filled with love. And for this, and for each one of you who is here today on this and with this video, I do give thanks. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next Tuesday, and lots of love.